So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, Josh Taylor wins against Jose Ramirez on points to become the undisputed light welterweight champion. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. A bit of a strange fight. But yeah, it was a good fight, and Taylor did what he had to do. Obviously, for me, the fight was very close. I think the two knockdowns really, in my opinion, probably edged the fight. Or Taylor deserved to win it basically with the two knockdowns. I don't think there was, take the two knockdowns out, I don't think the rounds were very decisive. I think it was fairly close. I know Taylor said towards the end of the fight that he felt he was controlling the fight, but I don't know. I thought Ramirez was landing a lot of shots. Taylor's the kind of fighter where he doesn't win comfortably, but he does just enough. I think the Prograis fight was mega close. I think this was close, but I think the Prograis fight was a lot closer than this. I think this was close, don't get me wrong, but I think the two knockdowns, edged the fight towards Taylor for sure. I think if you take the two knockdowns out, then yeah, this fight could have easily been a split decision to Ramirez or a win for... I think there wasn't a lot in it, to be honest with you. Taylor seemed to be the better boxer. And Ramirez was quite wild. He looked quite one-dimensional, coming in, walking in. And yeah, he did quite well, to be fair, with the limited skill set he had. I thought he did really well. He landed a lot of shots on Taylor, a lot of good body shots. Taylor landed a lot of good body shots. And the sixth round was beautiful when he landed that pull counter, that left hand that put Ramirez down. But Ramirez was there. If you look at how wild he was there for Taylor. Taylor was the better technical boxer. You could clearly see that. His punches were a lot more straight. Ramirez was throwing more wild, like hooks and wild shots, which, gave some sort of the technically better boxer in Taylor to land those shots. But to be honest with you, I think the fight was for me quite close. And I know a lot of Taylor fans were saying that this is going to be a walk in the park. It was not that, and I'm probably going to get some of his fans come onto my channel and give me stick for saying what I'm saying. But I thought the fight was relatively a good fight. I think it was a good watch. I thought it was quite close. I thought Taylor won the fight. I thought he won the fight. I thought he definitely won the fight. But I think it was a lot closer than what people thought it would be. And that was because of the fact that I do think that some of Josh Taylor's fans overrate him slightly. I think they think he's a lot better than what he is. Like, I spoke to some of them, and some of them were saying, oh, he's going to school Ramirez and make it, easy. I don't think that was easy at all. And I know the judges had it 114, 112, but I don't think it was far off that. I don't think it was far off. You could probably go 116, 112, or, but 115, 112. Like, I don't think it was like massively like a 118, 110 kind, no chance. I never thought it would be that, because I saw Ramirez. And I think what we've got in Taylor, I think we got a guy that likes to fight. We got a guy that likes to get stuck in. And he showed that against Ramirez. He got stuck in, really. Taylor got stuck in, and he wasn't afraid to have a fight. He was a little bit more versatile than Ramirez. And like I said, Ramirez was a little one-dimensional. So Taylor took advantage of that. That's why I think the seventh round, when Taylor landed the uppercut, like, Ramirez was like, I didn't understand what he did there. He just gave Taylor a free shot. Like, they were up close and he just didn't do anything. It's like he wasn't even defending himself. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand what he did there. He just gave Taylor a free uppercut. Like, I didn't understand that. I think the sixth round when Taylor landed that left hand, that was a beautiful shot. And he sucked Ramirez in, because Ramirez kept coming in wildly. And he was, I thought he was quite wild, Ramirez, and Taylor took advantage with the two. The second knockdown was, I think Andre Ward pointed out in commentary, it was quite, amateurish stuff, like where he gave Taylor a free shot, a free uppercut. Taylor was technically the better boxer out of the two. Ramirez could fight, and I felt like he buzzed Taylor a few times in the fight, but Taylor showed a good chin, he showed heart, he showed toughness. It was a very tough fight. And it's great, Scotland has another undisputed after Ken Buchanan. Has another undisputed champion. So basically now the questions are going to be, what is next for both guys? For Ramirez, listen, you could easily do a rematch. I don't particularly want to see a rematch, if I'm honest with you. I know some people on Facebook and stuff said that they would love to see the fight again. It was a close fight. It was close. It was close. I know there's going to be people that disagreed. It was close. Apart from the 2 knockdowns, I thought the rounds were very, very close. I thought it was like tick for tack, to be honest with you. There was no way that fight was one-sided in anyone's favor, but I definitely thought the right man got the decision. The 2 knockdowns definitely, for me, gave Taylor the fight. I saw some people saying they thought it was a draw, apart from the 2 knockdowns, they had Ramirez winning most of the rounds. I thought Ramirez won quite a few of the rounds, but I thought Taylor did enough. I think when your guy knocks a guy down twice, right? I didn't really score the fight, like round by round by round, but when you have 2 knockdowns and it's 2 10-8 rounds, it's hard to, in a world-class fight of, again, 2 world-class fighters at this level, it's very hard to, get that deficit back. Do you know what I mean? When you have 2 knockdowns like that, in round 6 and 7. But I will say, in all the other rounds, I thought Ramirez did very well, and I thought he won quite a few rounds. So, from watching it, Ramirez put up a very, very good fight. And bearing in mind, he was down hard. I think the round 6, he got back up and recovered quick. But the round 7, he gave Josh Taylor a free shot. And I felt he was hurt bad there. I think if there was a bit more time, maybe Taylor could have got him out of there. But, he recovered really well. So you got to give it to Ramirez. He's a tough man. A proper fighting man, to come back from that heavy uppercut like that. And it wasn't just the fact that he got hit with a huge uppercut. It was the way his head bounced off the canvas. And, he recovered very well. And he came back. And like I said, after that, he won rounds as well. So, Ramirez definitely, I think it was like a 8-4, 7-5 kind of fight. It was a comfortable... See, it was a close fight, but the right man got the decision. I think most of us would agree that it was a close fight. A bit like Pacquiao-Furman, a close fight, but the right man got the nod. And I think that's what I can say here. I think it was definitely the right call. So Ramirez, I think he might shout a rematch, or maybe, I don't know what he does. He stay at 140? Does he move up to 147? There was rumors about Ramirez struggling to make weight. Josh Taylor, what does he do next? There's talk about him going up to 147, fighting Crawford. I personally think that Josh Taylor should stay at 140 and look for a Lopez fight, look for maybe an Adrian Broner fight. That's a big fight money-wise. And Broner right now is at the end of his career. Also, I think there could be fights with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis has moved up to 140. That, I'm pretty sure he'd be interested in that fight. To be honest with you, at 147, I'm not sure. On watching Taylor so far throughout his career and what I've seen so far, I'm not sure that he's going to be able to beat the 147 guys like Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. I don't think he beats any of those guys, to be honest. I'm just being real. You guys know on my channel I keep it real. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get attacked by some of Josh Taylor fans. But I've got to say what I feel. And I don't think I think those guys are big, strong. They're better fighters than these guys. Remember, the 140-pound division is fairly weak. And Josh Taylor's probably the best out of the lot. But if you look at the way he's beating these guys very close. Very close. Like Prograve, very close. Postal, very close. Ramirez, again, I thought he won, but it was close. Apart from the 2 knockdowns, I thought the rounds were very close. And if you put Terence Crawford in there with Ramirez, I think he outclasses him and stops him. I think if you we saw what Terence Crawford did to Victor Postal. That was Victor Postal more in his prime. He took him apart. Let's be honest, Crawford took Victor Postal apart. So for me, that would be, I'll be honest, I don't see Taylor beating Terence Crawford. I don't see Taylor beating Errol Spence. Keith Thurman might be more interesting, but again, Keith Thurman has serious power. Also, Keith Thurman is a better boxer than Jose Ramirez and a better boxer than Victor Postal. I even think Danny Garcia would be a hard fight for Taylor. Danny Garcia is coming at the end, but Sean Porter, someone like that. Taylor likes to have a fight, but Sean Porter is very physically strong, very tough. yeah, I think the 147-pound division may be difficult for Taylor. And I like Taylor. I think he's a good fighter. He's definitely proven himself, undisputed champion. But again, I think that the gulf in class at 140 and 147, it's not just the fact that those guys are bigger. Forget the size. It's the fact that those guys are better. They're more skilled. And Taylor's winning very... Like I said, it's the fact that he's winning at world-class level. You've got to give him respect. But against those guys, for me, are a lot better than what we've got at 140. And then also, we've got to remember that they're bigger. So it's not just the fact that they're bigger. That's a problem. When you're moving up weight, the fact that you're fighting guys that are bigger and stronger, that's a problem. But then you're fighting guys, for me, that are more skilled than the guys at 140. So it's not like the guys at 147 are less skilled. So, Taylor's skill set could make up. No, they're more skilled than the guys that he's fighting. And Taylor's having relatively close fights. Like I said, I think if you just compare Postal and Taylor, I know styles make fights, but if we compare Crawford's performance against Postal and then you compare Taylor's performance against Postal, it's chalk and cheese. I know people will say, well, it was Taylor's early fights, but Taylor's talking about fighting Crawford next. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think he would beat Crawford. I actually think he should stay at 140 and probably look for Teofimo Lopez. I don't think he will. I think he'll move up to 147. But I think guys like Crawford, Thurman, Spence, I think that they might be difficult. Thurman may be a guy that he's vulnerable right now. He's very inactive. He lost against Pacquiao in his last fight. I personally think that a Crawford fight probably may happen. I think they may put Josh Taylor in with Crawford. They're both with Top Rank. And I think that might be Crawford's last fight with Top Rank. I was Top Rank and you're promoting Josh Taylor. You're building a star. And Terence Crawford may leave. I don't know why you would want to put him in with Terence Crawford and potentially stop. Josh Taylor has a long way to go. He's still young. He's only 30. He's 30 years of age. He's only had 18 fights. So, I don't know. It's going to be difficult. What are they going to do next? Are they going to wait for someone like Lopez? Which, obviously, for me, would be an easier fight for Taylor because Crawford's at 147. And I know Crawford's not a big 147. But nevertheless, he's very skilled, highly skilled, and he's very experienced now. That, for me, I think he would like... just if you put Crawford against all of the guys that Taylor's fought, for me, he beats those guys and he beats them in emphatic fashion. I just think he's a level above. And I think that it may be difficult for Josh Taylor to beat someone like Crawford. That's why I think the fights that make sense are maybe at 140, like with even Mikey Garcia. I like that fight. I think a Mikey Garcia fight is something that I would like to see with Taylor. I don't know whether they can get that done from a promotional standpoint, but I wouldn't mind that fight with Mikey Garcia. I think that would be a great fight. And the fact that Josh Taylor's undisputed now, maybe that might tempt Mikey Garcia. Again, that would be a hard fight for Taylor because Mikey Garcia is not Ramirez. He's very highly skilled. He's also a big puncher at those at 135, 140. He can punch. So that would be a hard fight. I just think that maybe, Josh Taylor should probably stay at 140. The reason why I'm saying that, I think a lot of the welterweights beat him. And I think there's guys at 140, that guys at the smaller weight classes that are moving up that he can beat, like Teofimo Lopez. That's not an easy fight for Taylor, but I think that was a fight that I think he can win. He's the bigger man. He's very skilled as well. He's got a good chin. So yeah, I think Taylor's got fights against Teofimo Lopez, against Gervonta Davis. Those are fights that I think Taylor has a way better chance of winning. And he'll be fighting guys that are smaller than him. So yeah, I personally think they're going to push him in the direction of Crawford because Taylor said that's what he wants. I think he wanted Manny Pacquiao. That's not going to happen. Manny Pacquiao's not going to fight Josh Taylor. Manny Pacquiao's already fighting Errol Spence. That might be his last fight. So I think a fight with Terence Crawford is probably going to be what maybe Josh Taylor pushes for because Terence Crawford's pound for pound #1. So for me, that's probably a fight that Josh Taylor would want, but I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but do you think you stay at 140 on that performance? What would you like to see him do next? I think there's some good fights out there for him, but I just think welterweight might be a step too far. You know, welterweight might be a step too far. A massive fight here in the UK could be against, depending on how Conor Benn develops. At welterweight could be him against Conor Benn, but that just depends on how Conor Benn develops. That could be a huge fight down the road in 1.5, 2 years' time. Right now, I think Taylor would beat Conor Benn. I don't think Conor Benn's ready for that level, but maybe if Conor Benn's able to reach world level, maybe that becomes a massive fight here in the UK. Yeah, I personally think that Taylor should probably stay at 140, but again, I think that'll probably be it at him at 140, and he'll probably move up. But then when you move up, there's a lot of sharks in the 147-pound division, and they're really, really good. They're really, really good. You've got guys that are coming up like Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. Forget about the top guys that are sitting there on the throne. I'm talking about the guys that are coming up are a problem, like Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. You know, they're you know, serious fighters. So to be honest with you, I think, I don't know what's going to be the next move for Taylor, to be honest with you. I don't know what he's going to want to do next. I think it's going to come down to him. I think Bob Arum, if he wants to fight Crawford, I'm pretty sure Bob Arum won't have a problem making that fight. And that can be made like that because they're both with Top Rank. But I just think that he's only had 18 fights. He's undisputed and he's done things quick. But I don't think jumping in there with Crawford next will probably be a wise move from a career point, because he's got a long way to go. And a loss against Crawford, yeah, you lose against the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You know, who knows? Maybe he could pull off a career-best performance against Crawford and shock people. I personally would like to see him stay at 140 and maybe fight like a Teofimo. You know, Teofimo's fighting Kambosos. And, you know, if Teofimo comes through that, Teofimo will... I'm pretty sure Teofimo would love to fight, you know, for another undisputed... have another undisputed fight against Josh Taylor. You know, Gervonta Davis fighting Barrios. Maybe that's a fight that can be made. But it looks like they're going to go down the Crawford route. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he should stay at 140 or he should move to 147? Do you give, if he fights a Crawford or a Spence or guys like that, would you give him a chance on what you've seen so far in his fights? What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys. I'll probably doing a live stream, guys, maybe later on today, depending on how I feel, because it's fairly late here. I just finished watching the fight. It's about 4:30. So I want to get to bed, and it's good that the fight happened a little earlier, so we didn't, you know, I'm not up till like 7. But yeah, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. What do you think Taylor should do next? What did you make of his how did you, what score did you have? Do you think it was close? Do you think it was wide? I think we're all on the same page that Taylor was the deserved man to win the fight or get the decision. But how wide did you have it? Taylor was upset with how wide, or he said he thought the fight was wider. I personally think that 116, 112, 115, 112. I think it was that kind of fight. I don't think it was any wider than that. I thought the rounds were very close. I think the 2 knockdowns really were pivotal and really won Taylor the fight. Otherwise, I think the fight was quite close. That was just my opinion. I thought the rounds were very competitive, very close fight. I wasn't scoring the fight. I'm just going off what I saw. And I thought the rounds were very close. I thought they were very competitive. I think the 2 knockdowns definitely swayed it in Taylor's favor. But leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.